I think bullying is an intended harassment way and an act where you want to make someone suffer. Bullying is a serious behavior that causes the victim feel confidence and it hurt their well-being.
And it happens when the perpetrator intentionally and repeatedly harms the victim to make the victim suffer, whether mentally, physically, or even spiritually.
If you call yourself feeling bad about yourself because you being talked by others, even their action, it could be because you're getting bullied. Some people might think bullying is only an action that people can do abusively in front of public, but it actually could be silent too. I think the best way to possibly avoid it is basically by staying quiet. It's more peaceful, don't you think? It's a bit more out of the rage. Don't think that you are strong because you're hurting someone's feeling. Please take an action and change now. And for those who get bullied, you're not alone in there. You have a place to talk about your feelings. And I know there is someone that will always support you.
I see you. I want to say that you are not alone. You will never be. You might feel that way, and it is okay. But what's not okay is to give up.
His government too have to be serious about bullying, about how do we have to solve the person who like bullying. Good morning, our beloved participant. It is beloved noon. Let us clap for ourselves first. Alright, you guys know that most of students, at least all of us, ever experience about bully. But also most of us wouldn't even know that the action we did is actually a bully. So this day we're gonna talk about things that very common in our society that's called bully. So let's start about the definition. The definition about bully. Some people say that bully it could be insulted that happened a bunch of the times that doing by those people. But I think bully is something more like when people insulted you and you couldn't accept that, it couldn't be called as bully. But again, we have all different opinions, especially from us four. Then we're gonna see about our definition about bully. Let's start with Alifa.
Okay, at Kia, according to my own thinking, bullying is intentional act of intimidating, humiliating someone who has less power with other, like physically, emotionally. Like bullying is a serious behavior that can make someone feel unsafe and distressed. And people who bullied, that can affect the victims feeling unconfidence and very stressed about themselves.
Yeah, that's such a really good opinion. And let us continue to ranting. What do you think about bully ranting?
I think bullying is where you intentionally want to harass someone. It's because it might be verbal, it might be physical, it can be anything that damages your mental health and your physical.
Yeah, it's such a good opinion too, right? So let us start from Kaya.
I agree with what everyone has said so far, but I would like to add something to it. So personally, I think of bullying as a form of abuse. that usually occurs in a professional setting, like maybe a workplace or, as we know, schools. So it happens when there's a perpetrator and the victim. And it happens when the victim is made to suffer, whether physically, mentally, or even spiritually. And talking about effects to the victim, I personally has experienced being bullied once. So in middle school, I'm pretty nervous to talk about this. So in middle school, I was bullied socially. In specific, I was ostracized from others. So I made a mess with some of the popular ladies, so you guys may know, and they didn't like me. And because of that, for about a year, I did not have any friends because people are scared to talk to me, because if they talk to me, they're gonna have problems with the same ladies. That's it. Do you have a personal experience like that, Andy?
I think I have the personal experience, although it's more like internetly, like cyberbullying. So when I was like in elementary school, I had a friend, and let's just say this friend wasn't really friendly. I was a new kid at the elementary school, and it's like this specific friend didn't really like me and such, so she really just started spreading about TikToks about me and making TikToks about me, and basically making people knowing me like I'm a bad guy, like
I see.
my God, this person I don't think it's so like she's so narcissistic, you say. And basically she acts nice to me, but she's really just, that's just an act. That's just like a lamb. Wait, no. That's like a wolf's in a sheep's clothing. That's basically it. What do you think?
Yeah, I think those, for me or period, it's more like she needs validation, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
Especially she's a narcissistic person. I do have that kind of experience too, but like I don't really mind though. But my friend around me, they're telling me like there's a bully, that's a bully, but I don't really mind about that. And I think that's like the same experience such as you, because my friend is making fun of me like they're like recording or something. Jadi I feel it's more like cyberbullying too, right? And also from Kaisa perspective, it's more like social, right?
Yeah.
Yes, more like social. And what about you, Alifa? Do you have any personal experience?
I don't think so, but as the person that I think I never get bullied, I totally feel sorry for you all, because bullying is serious behavior that should not be ignored. It's hurting someone's feeling. It's criminal for me, and I have some experience. So I have a friend. She got bullied, and she say to me, she tell all the stories, and as the person, I have to be a good listener for her. I have to cheer for them, being there for her. And personally, I feel so sorry, but that is so scary, being get bullied.
Yeah, you still remember her? You still talking to her anyway till this day?
Yeah, until now I still talking to her, and she always tell story to me, and it feels so hurtful for me.
That's it. Bully is such a meanest topic person I could do to you, right? So, what do you think about like why these people are doing that kind of bully? Like, why would they doing that? Start from you, Kaisa.
Why a person could become the perpetrator
Yeah.
instead of the victim?
Yeah.
Okay, so I really like this topic, so I study it a lot. So when a person becomes a perpetrator, when a person hurts others, sometimes it's because they are also hurting. Sometimes they do that because maybe they feel the need for attention. That's one. Perhaps they feel as though we are different, right? Victims of bullying usually are different from others, no?
Yeah, that's it.
And maybe some of the perpetrators feel that I had to fit in into society, so why should you be able to be different? And why should you be happy about it? So I should make you suffer for it. But also, of course, there are also cases where the perpetrator has an enabler. So what is an enabler? An enabler is when, for example, maybe I'm hurting someone. I'm a bad person and I'm insulting, ranting, for example. And then, instead of reprimanding me, instead of scolding me, my mama defended me. That is an enabler. So, someone could become a perpetrator because they feel as though it is not a wrong thing to do. That is what I think.
Yeah, they're more like supported.
Yes.
Especially it's come from a parent, right?
Mhm.
So what do you think bully creates you to become a person? I think is there any something you think like that's not right after got bullied?
What do you mean?
Like until this day,
Mhm.
what those kind of action creates you?
Oh, how it affects me.
Yeah, how it affects you.
Definitely a lot. There's also this very bad thing that I did because I was bullied.
Seriously.
The thing is, being bullied most of the time would not push someone this far, but when someone is bullied on top of having problems at home, it can definitely lead to something that I did, and which I do not support, and I would not wish it upon anyone, even my worst enemies. I try to kill myself many times because I feel as though I can't talk to anyone at home, at school. That's why I feel down. I feel as though my life is worthless. I feel as though I'm a waste of space. But the thing is, guys, even if you try to off yourself, it's not gonna solve anything.
Right.
So you shouldn't do that, you know. I'm just lucky that I survived. And if I didn't survive back then, I wouldn't be here today, right?
Right, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, so I think bullying can make a person be irrational.
Irrational.
It can make a person difficult to think. It makes them feel as though they have no choice but to do the worst thing possible. And it is not a good thing. That's it for me. Do you have any
Yeah,
input?
it actually. I'm so sorry for your case.
It's okay,
It's
thank
actually
you.
such a triggered case, such a triggered.
Yeah, it is.
memory.
In front of so many people, yes.
Yeah, that's it. Especially you experienced that such a long time, right?
Yeah, for a
Quite a
year.
long time. Yeah, it's a year, long time. That's why I think this country needs to be serious about this case because most of people, as I've said before, that student at least us is ever experiencing about bully doesn't us like probably it could come from insulting, probably it could come from physically, it could come from cyberbullying that Ranting ever experienced it. Also, I want to ask Ranting, what do you think bully creates you into being the person right now? What does it affect you?
I think it kind of affects me of not really showing into myself. Like, for example, when I was in elementary school, I was really loud. I was really talkative with my friends, and I never really had the time to shut up. And in those places, there's this one girl that kind of like, hey, you're the new person, you're the new girl here, you can't be talking loud. So yeah, I kind of it affects me of really just being quiet. And I mean, it's not really as bad as
No, that's
how,
not. I
but
say that.
it's
Hey,
like it's really makes me more in a cramped situation. It makes me more silent. It makes me more like the type of person that would talk if the one person talks to me, you know.
I see.
Like when someone wants to ask how was my day, and I just say good. That's what I do. Well, I think that's all from me. It
I
kind of
don't agree when you I don't agree when you said that it's not as bad as me, because feelings are subjective. And you shouldn't say that your experience is any less suffering than mine, because your form of your experience made you silent. It stole away your voice, and it forces you to reduce yourself, to hide yourself, and that's not a good thing either. So people, even though if you feel like your suffering is any less than others, it's not true. Your suffering is still valid, and you can still ask for help for that. You can still reach out to people, even if you think the problem is too small. There's no problem that is too small if it's hurting you.
Right, that is right. That's why my friend telling me that that's a bully, that's a bully. They try to telling me that to deal with them. Alright, you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
I'm sorry for disturbing, but I totally agree with you guys, but I have some opinion. And I really want to appreciate you, Kai, because from what I was listening, you're so good at fixing your own problem, because you should be a psychiatrist, you know.
Thank you.
You're so good. Let's everyone give applause with Kai.
Thank you.
So I have an opinion I would like to share, because anyone is know that bullying is such a bad behavior, right? But I have my own perspective that the bully himself is actually, like you said, the one who got hurt. So like bullying is actually like a disease of spreading virus, right? So I would ask a question for you, for the people who have already got bullied. How did you guys like really take yourself together and like face it, you know, to be as successful as Kai? And like Ranti, you guys so great, and I just want to ask that, how did you guys go through it? I think.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
In her post.
Do you have anything to say to that, Ranti?
That's a good question. I mean, as for myself, I talk out with my family, but in some cases, you know, there's some family that has problems and some busy families that are unable to talk with their children. So for my personal experience, I think that it's best to like talk it out with someone. It doesn't matter who it is, your parent, your friend, your siblings, who cares? It's just like, okay, you trust this person, you talk about it to them, and hopefully they'll give the right answer to that. And that kind of heals me. I mean,
That's very good. That's very good. Thank you, Ranti.
thank you.
What about you, Kaisa? How you went through that?
Since I don't have the same home situation as Ranting, I can't really talk to my parents about it, you know, as I said. So when I failed for like the 5th time of killing myself, I decided to just, you know what, I'm just gonna go through with it, you know. I feel like I gave up, in a sense that I gave up trying to die. I gave up trying to end my life, and I decided to just live. I decided to just live my life and continue. You know, I actually didn't plan on going to high school. But because I failed many times, I feel as though even if I stay home, I'm gonna endure the things from my parents instead. So I just decided to go to school to somewhat escape it. So I continued to high school, and thankfully, thank the gods above, that at school, I met so many people and teachers that are supportive. And there's this one teacher, shout out to Miss Hasana, she pushed me to go to my first competition. And that healed me so much, because in competitions from there and the next ones, I met so many people, and I can have friends, you know. And because it's such a new thing for me, I decided to just, okay, I'm gonna live so that I can meet more people who are kind. I can meet people who are good, you know. Yes, and I decided to just, why continue the negativity when I can spread good things in life instead. That's it. Thank you.
So basically, Kaisa, is when so much cases like you could suffering until this moment is really good. It's
Thank you.
so much good. Like, let's move into Alifa. What do you think your friends? What do you think bully creates your friend to be a friend? What does it affect her?
Of course, it affect her mental health. That's why she say it all to me.
Yeah.
She tell all the story to me, and the first thing that she say to me, I'm scared. I'm scared to live. And the first thing that I wanted to do is to make her to live her life, like to support her. Bullies, it's so tough. It's a serious behavior that yeah.
Have you ever talked to the bully, like to confront her?
To confront. I've tried once,
Yeah.
and she get mad at me,
Yeah, it's too risky. Yeah.
of course, but I confront her, and she get mad to me, and I'm saying like, if you ever get hurt in the
Yeah.
past, don't become the evil one.
Yeah.
Don't become the evil as the past. So, and she said to me like, I don't care about it all. I want to make all the person is suffer. And I was like, I feel scary.
Oh, that's so mean. I mean, I think the bully one is the one who mentally unstable, right? So
Yeah.
he projecting that onto your friend. That's why she's like, I'm suffering, so you have to suffering too.
Yeah.
That kind of person, right? So that's why we need a person who's like Alifa. So she's such a good supporter. She's such a good defender. So that's why we have to educate you guys to be like, if there's one friend who got bullied, you have to confront her. You have to be her supporter because we never knew what people went through into their past, right? So that's why we really need to be like at least a good listener for them, right? What do you think if your friend got bullied? As a people who already got a bully experience, what do you think you're gonna do if you see your friend got bullied?
As an advice to everyone.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to talk first?
You go on.
Okay. So, if you find yourself witnessing a friend or a stranger being bullied or being hurt, I think it's much better to help them and risk yourself having trouble with the perpetrator rather than risking that stranger or that friend to lose their life instead. I think even if the perpetrator is a very powerful person, it is better to save a life than to comply to another, no? So I think if I saw my friend getting bullied, I would definitely do everything in my power to make it stop. Or even if I don't have the power to make it stop, I'd do anything in my life to let the victim knows that they are not alone, that I am here, that I see them and I understand them. Because sometimes the victims just want to be heard, no?
Yeah.
Right. There's no point to bully.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so first of all, I want to introduce myself. My name is Celia, and I want to point out another perspective, which is what you just said, which is the witness. And I want to bring up that as a witness, sometimes we feel pressure and responsibility for the victim's feelings. And how do you think we should avoid that feeling as a witness? How do we prevent ourselves from feeling pressured? That's my question. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for the question.
It's such a nice.
That was such a good. Okay, thank you. That is such a good question. Do you have an answer to that?
I actually have an answer because I used to be those. I used to be that witness too, where my friend got bullied. But in that moment, actually, it's normal to being pressured too, because like that's our friend. We're connected to them. That's why we got pressured too, right? But let's get back into it. First of all, they are not bullying us for us being bad or something. It's just because they feel more power than that. So if we get pressured, that's why we get pressure. It means that we give our energy to them. We give our energy to them, then we got pressure, we got scared, we got fear, even to face them. That's why how to not get pressure, it's just like what, thinking like it just pass, it's gonna pass. So they're nothing, don't give any energy to them. Don't see them as the person who's caring. Don't see them as the person who's gonna bully you too, who's gonna like who make you fear or something. Don't give them energy, because high value people would never bully someone. That's why you have to be that high value people. High value person would never. Alright? So what do you think?
I would like to add to that actually. That's a good point, because if we're the witness at the situation, it is not our place to feel awful. Of course, it is normal to feel down, to feel tired from listening to the experiences, especially if it's awful. It is normal for us humans to react that way. But I think the good thing to keep in mind is that this is not about us at the moment. This is about them. And if you, just as Kia said, that if you only project your energy onto the victim, onto your friend, instead of worrying about the perpetrator and keeping in mind that you are doing this for a person, for another that you care about, I think it should be enough motivation and enough force that for you to feel better.
Thank you. That's it. So it's actually such a good point, because it's such a good question, because all of us do feel that we want to support our friend, but in the same moment we do feel awful, we do feel scared, we do feel scared to confront them, right? That's why sometimes some people would rather to go to let that people alone, right? That's why we have to take that breath, because we're not them. We're not. It's not about us, as Akai said. Yeah. And also, what do you think, Ranting?
Can you repeat that? Like, what do I think about what?
Like how to not get pressure.
Oh, I mean, how do you say it? I mean, I've been being my friend's, what do you say, called therapist.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've been in a lot of times, but for me myself, I put myself in my situation. I just really want to help my friends out. Like, sometimes I kind of notice them feeling down, so I ask them what is happening, and it really depends on me, because I took that responsibility, and I have to like reassure they're fine, they exist, and they can basically talk to me if they want comfort. But I think when I feel pressured, I usually just stay quiet. I silence myself. I know it's not the very best way, but instead of like ghosting them, I think it's best to like, hey, to talk it out, like to talk your problems out. Like maybe the friend's problem is verbal bullying, and then my problem is currently maybe I'm just feeling down in general, and then we can just talk it out, we can just make it relatable, and we can comfort ourselves out, we can hug ourselves out. That's the motto, basically. I think that's my opinion, mostly, on not to pressure myself.
Such a good it's such a good opinion from Kai and also from Ranting, and also thankful for Oliva who being a good supporter for her friend. We literally got a lot of things to learn here. We got educated already. Doesn't us like from this topic we could learn that we couldn't be that easy to bully someone for even for nonsense, even for no reason. That's why, yeah, all of that been experiencing that. That's why please don't create it, please don't projecting it to other people. Okay, all right, all from us. Yeah, thank you so much. And
Oh, actually, I got distracted by the pretty girl over there. She's crying and. Oh, actually, honey, you have a place to talk whatever you want. You have a place to exist, and you have to live your life. That's all.
yeah, it's okay. This life is mean, but you have your back. It's okay. God with you. That's why all from us that we thank you so much for your attention. And okay, so thank you so much for your attention. And okay, we're gonna continue this. It's another
Next
topic.
session.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Thank
the
you so much.
attention in this round. We would like to take a little break and we can continue it in the next session.
Students.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Alright guys, back with us talking about bully, that a talkative show program that have collaboration with Boas Asokal Hajat. Also, in the first session, you guys already sharing our personal experience. Also, we also giving advice about how do we solve that. That in this session, we would like to spot our audience, our participant personal experience too. So in the first session, we already spotted a person that crying about our topic, and in this session, we're gonna ask about the person next her to talk about her personal experience too. So let us start with Najwa. Give her applause.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
It is so nice to
Hello,
see
Kitty.
like friendly faces here.
Alright.
So that's my girl.
Yay!
All right, so I want to talk about like a personal experience of mine. What if, like, okay, we've been talking about like bullies, like a
talk about
person
bullies.
that bullies.
Right.
Yeah.
But what if you can't see your bullies? What if your bullies is invisible? Do you get what I'm saying?
What if the bully is
No?
yourself?
Yeah.
Hear me out, okay? Hear me out.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks interesting.
So the bully that I'm talking about is actually myself.
Alright.
I've been recently feeling this thing. I've been having like bad thoughts, mean thoughts. My mind have been mean to me. It started since like, I guess since I started high school. Okay, it was not that bad. It just started like little bits and bits, and then it peaked when I started like 12th grade. Maybe because it's like the stress. Because to be frank, I have no problem at all in my life. Like I don't have bad friends. My relationship with my family is good. But it's just my thoughts. My thoughts are always so mean to me. Every time I wake up, I was like, damn, why am I alive, bro? Like every I cry myself to sleep. And like at teacher day is like a very good day, right? I cried. That was like the worst day of my life. I cried every chances I get to cry. Like when my friends aren't talking, I cried. When I go to the bathroom, I cried. It's like it was like endless crying just because of like a thought. I mean, you can like unfriend your bullies. You can like block them. But what if it's yourself, your own freaking mind? You can't remove your subconscious out. that's not possible. So like, I guess I just wanna ask you guys like, what would you do if your minds are like very mean?
Okay.
Right. I used to be in that position too.
Thank you for listening, y'all.
Okay.
Yeah, and actually, not a lot of people talking about this, right? Because like sometimes ourselves can be mean to ourselves too. We keep talking about others being mean to us, like it probably could come from our friends, our parents, or whoever, but we never talking about ourselves is actually mean too, because who let us depression if that not us, right? Because sometimes we also had a mentally unstable to receive that kind of like bully. That's why sometimes we feel down, sometimes we feel depression. It actually because of us too. We're letting ourselves to be down, right? That's why this is such a good topic to be talked about too, because how do we accept ourselves? How to be nice to ourselves? Because before you could be nice to other, you have to be nice to yourself too.
Yes.
Do you guys agree with that?
Yes.
That's right. Yeah, that's why. What do you think about that? Do you think when you feel that mentally down, you think it could come from yourself too?
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me think. First of all, I'm very sorry that your mind hasn't been kind to you. I'm very sorry that you have to experience that all by yourself.
But when you said that your family is good, your friends are wonderful, I'm very glad that you have that. But we have to be conscious that a thought is we can never have an original thought.
Yeah, that's
You know what I mean? Okay, so then why would Najwa hate herself roughly? I'm sorry if that's wrong. Why would we feel bad about ourselves if our surroundings are nice? You know what we all have now? A phone.
we have.
What we consume always affects us.
Yes.
It doesn't even have to be a phone. It doesn't even have to be a phone, but that's the most common thing that we use, right? So I'm going to use that as an explanation. Okay, so when we watch something, maybe a TikTok or a YouTube video, there tends to be a few things that are common. Maybe the person is beautiful in our head. Maybe they fit the social standard. Maybe their hair is very neat, their hair is straight and shiny, their makeup looks so good. And when we are exposed to only that type of vision constantly, every single day, every single time you open that app, your mind creates a principle by itself. Subconsciously, you will receive that and think of that as the right thing. So when you are conscious and think to yourself, you see yourself that, oh, I do not fit into that standard. You started to feel bad about yourself. It doesn't even have to be about appearance. It can be about your art, something that you create, or how you act. For example, I'm going to use myself because I'm scared of triggering anybody else. I have autism, right? And when you have a behavioral disorder like that, you act a certain way, and it's not the same way as everybody else. And so I feel alone, I feel different, and people around me sometimes say that. And it can definitely lead to self-hatred. Self-hatred can only be solved by yourself. So even if you feel bad about yourself, even if you have a self-hatred and you talk to so many people taking advice here and there, if you're not actually convinced, if you yourself don't believe that advice, if you yourself don't believe that encouragement that you are beautiful, that you are perfect as you are, you're not gonna get better. So what do we need to do to solve our self-hatred?
you need to look back inside. Push aside those things that you think are bad about yourself. It's okay to acknowledge that because sometimes our mind are different than our own projection, right? But you need to find some things that are good. For example, I hate myself because I think differently than others. I hate myself because I can't act just like everybody else. But I find that, oh, I'm also very smart. I'm also very good at solving stuff. So even if you acknowledge the negativity in yourself, you also need to acknowledge the positivity in yourself. I think that's the main, okay.
First of all, I will say thank you for this opportunity. My name is Enrico, and I will share my opinion about that because I really into that topic about we can call that in this generation is about cyberbullying, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, I really into that topic. Like the first section is Ranti share their what is that experience to us because cyberbullying is a common one type of bullying in this generation because sometimes I saw in social media if people is compare themselves to each other because we get some standard or something like that in social media, yeah. Because and also I think about social media should be a place to express our experience or our feelings or something like that, not to be a standard for our life. So that's a serious topic and also giving us about negative sides about social media. So that's my opinion, and maybe we also agree with that. Social media is giving us a negative side. However, that social media is still giving us about the positive effects. Thank you.
Yeah, Enrico, thank you so much for your opinion. We could give him applause again. Alright, as you said before, social media it's place for us to show ourselves. It don't have to be a standard for us to be like them, like her, like him, right? So, yeah, this day people are more likely to be insecure because of that, right? Yeah, actually, social media have a two side, a good side and a bad side too, right? That's why we really need to be careful of that because we are what we consume, actually. Also, for your information, what keeping us alive into this day is actually what our unconscious mind works. So basically there's two kind of mind in ourselves. There's a unconscious one and the conscious one. The conscious one is what you do and what you realize you did. Like you're sitting here, you realize that it's such a conscious mind, but the unconscious one is what you don't realize, and that's what keeping you alive, and that's how your brain works. Like every day you wake up and you're taking a shower is such an unconscious mind because it created by habit, also how the way you think. That's how insecurity works. Because what you're telling to yourself, like if you're telling yourself you're ugly, you're not worth it, it's gonna be like, your unconscious mind gonna keep that, and every day it's gonna be played into your mind. That's where insecurity starts. And by being insecure, it also makes you feel like more fragile to get bullied too, because people knew that you're powerless. People knew that you think you're not worth it too. That's why we have to stand for ourselves first. What do you think?
And because of that too, someone says to me that your thought might kill you. So you have to start the thought, a good one, the positive one. Be yourself. Don't care about those that hating on you. Just trust on yourself.
Right. Yeah, it could be hard for you who been through that, like who got bullied or who got insulted a bunch of the time. It could be hard for you. It's not that easy as we told you to. Like love yourself. I know everybody out there says that too, but like let's start from ourselves. Let's start to think like in front of mirror, telling yourself that you're pretty, that you're good, that you're worth it, it's gonna come to your mind and it's gonna be set up in your unconscious mind too. And that's how you got power by yourself too. So you couldn't be able to got bullied from that. Even if you got bullied from that too, you could stand for yourself because you could talk.
I'm really thankful for the opportunity to ask the question.
Yeah.
So before that, you were talking about the cyberbullying, right? And then the cyberbullying turned into the self-bullying, right?
Yeah.
So what if all those are and actually like too late to protect yourself? Like,
Okay.
what if the victim already died?
Already died.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? There's some cases, in an earlier here, like there's some cases of bullying in Indonesia, right?
Obviously.
Yeah, there's a lot, right?
There's a lot. That's why.
So, some of them already died, right? I thought all of you are ever listen about it. So, and we're gonna talk about the bully, right? How about the victim had already died, and the bullied guy, the causes got viral, and the bullied got got pressure from the internet, and they just apologizing just because they want to defend it themselves. Now the question is, what is your perspective about someone that just the bullied want to protect themselves by apologizing, just fake apologizing to defend it themselves, just like to protect themselves to the society.
Yeah, to not.
That was the thing. Okay, that's what I mean. Thank you very much.
You might.
Oh, can I?
Or me?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, this is actually such a good question because the bully too could protect themselves. Like they, how to not get hated by anyone, but they hating that people, right? Yeah, that's actually could be called as too late because the victim is already died, right? So how? It's more like how we deal with them, or how we should act to that bully, or how.
What's your response? Should they apologize, or shouldn't they do anything? Just talk about the consequences of the.
All right. Thank you for the question. Yeah, I do think actually the bully one who need the consequences from that, but also we couldn't like. Actually, I do believe in karma. Like karma will get to them. Karma will get to them. We actually, if I were that person, if that my friend got bullied and they already died, I would be so much sorry for them. I would cry for them. Like, yeah, that's why. So I think the bully one, obviously they should apologize. Because it doesn't matter they mean it or not, but at least they do apologize. They do think they're wrong, but they mean it or not, it's on them. Also God news that God more likely to news that they are mean it or not, right? Also, what do we need to do? We don't have to get revenge on them. It's okay. It's just let them. Me personally, I don't want to be like. I always wanted to stay unbuttered queen. That's why I don't want to be deal with them, like because they're not worthy to be dealing off. Like for what? Why do I have?
May I add to that?
What?
May I add to that?
Yeah, obviously.
So, as Kia said, it is the consequences of their action, and whether they mean their apology or not is their own principle.
That's
right.
on them, yeah.
Okay, that's on them. But I think this is an opportunity for us to learn about intention versus cause. So sometimes from the cases that we saw where the victim already died and maybe the perpetrator truly did not mean to go that far. For
From there, we can learn that even if we don't intend to cause them so much harm, sometimes what other people receive is different. Sometimes we just think, oh, it's a joke, but then they got offended, they got hurt. And it's not their fault that they got hurt, it is our fault. So we need to apologize. And I think those cases where the perpetrator actually feels bad, it shows that we lack education. It shows that we lack consciousness, we lack knowledge of what is good and what is bad in the case of a social interaction. So how do we prevent it? For me personally, I think we should be more open towards these cases. Because sometimes I feel like other people would be, when sometimes I talk about these severe cases or sensitive topics, sometimes people get, why do you talk about that? I don't want to think about it. That's so negative. But sometimes we need to think about that so we can learn and we can spread the awareness to other people. I see. And if it was already too late, if the damage is already done but the victim hasn't died yet, there's therapy. We need to minimize the stigma, the bad stigma around mental institutions. Because truly, mental institution is one of the forces that help me. I've been hospitalized in a mental institute 3 times, and it helped me, truly. Of course, sometimes medicines don't help, and it causes addiction and such. But it is better to survive than to have died and lost their own future. Do you have anything to add to that?
I think, yeah, you're right about, putting up mental institution and stuff. But, what is it called? The pencegahan. It's best to probably to avoid it. If the perspective is you're the bully and the person that you bullied is basically like that, and then well, it's kind of like a mental reality that make basically wow, I did this as a joke, why did it take that far? So it's teaching you, it doesn't really teach you, but it is teaching you, unconsciously teaching you about how the jokes can possibly make someone unalive themselves, and it's actually not that good. And I think, mostly if you feel that you're cramped and most of the stuff, you can ask about mental institutions. You can open up to a therapist. Hopefully it is a good therapist.
Yes.
Hopefully.
And even therapy is not only for the victim, but if you feel like you always feel the need to assert power, you feel the need to insult someone, because sometimes we feel that way, right? We see someone and oh, why are they like that? Yeah. Sometimes you feel that way. You can go look into a therapist about that too. Because if we internalize that hatred and we don't let it out, we're gonna end up exploding on something else, on someone else. So for that to not happen, hopefully. Oh, okay. You could say.
First of all, I'm sorry to cut your speech.
It's okay.
And I'm very thankful for this opportunity to speak. First of all, I want to talk about impacts of bullying. We all know that there are several impacts on bullying, like impacts on victims, impacts on bullies, on bystanders, which is the witnesses, and impacts on school. What I want to ask is the impacts on victims and the impacts on bystanders. The impacts on victims, it causes the victims to have emotional and psychological effects.
Yes.
And for the impacts on bystanders, it can cause feeling of guilt because for not helping the victim, and fear of becoming the next victim. So we all know that the victims want to vent to other people, to express their feelings.
Yes.
But what if these other people don't want to go near them because of this feeling of guilt and fear of becoming the next victim? And what I want to ask is, what are the ways? What are other ways? Is there other ways to express your emotional or psychological effects? Thank you.
For the victim or for the bystander?
Okay, thank you for the question.
You want to answer?
Can I go?
Yeah, you can go.
Oh, you can go. Okay, so that's a very good question because as someone who doesn't really show any emotions to barely, but there's other ways to actually express your anger, your sadness in any way, and that is doing what you love. It's about painting, drawing, volleyball, sports, anything. And you can basically bring it out there. You can basically bring out your sadness. Like if you're angry and you're a boxer, you can just punch a punching bag instead of a person. And then maybe if this is from me, but usually people are, from what I see, people are usually best at creating masterpieces when they're feeling the most strongest emotion they do. So basically you can put up your sadness to art, cooking, anything that you want to do. It's basically doing therapy but with
For yourself.
like with an invisible thing, like cooking, drawing, sports, any of that.
Question. If someone already got depressed, they usually had no interest of anything.
Yes.
Because I used to get there too. Because like I want to get something to get my dopamine back, to get my happiness back, to get how to keeping me alive. But there's nothing that I could see as interest as before. So what do you think? How to deal with that?
I would say I would really just seek out advice, like, hey, I'll just ask maybe a trusted person, hey, what do you do when you're sad? And maybe that could lead to basically, it's pretty best. It's kind of confusing. It really just leads up to a dead end, but when that dead end is real, you can just climb it up with someone, like landing a hand by someone. You can just say, hey, maybe if there is someone that is like close to you, you can just and your friend is feeling down, you can just ask hey, since you're feeling down, what about we do this? What about we do that together? And I think that's kind of for me, but in my
Sounds
opinion.
make sense though.
I really like the analogy. Of dead end. Even if you don't have anyone to climb that dead end with, you can just turn around and find another way. That's it. That's the end of my opinion. Thank you.
I see. So, is there anything to add about that question? Yeah. Okay. So, talking about the first, that actually really could come for ourselves too, right?
Yeah.
So, like what I'm saying, we're what we consume. So what we can tell into ourselves, what we watch, what we eat, it serves ourselves. And how to stand for yourself. It just like, stand for yourself. Stand for yourself, to talk to yourself good. Because there's a lot of people that I knew that they seems like they love themselves, but inside they love to joke bad about themselves. Like, I feel so ugly. No, you're not ugly, but they say, you could go. All right.
This person accept that they're a bad person, and then they accept them themselves and turn into the bad version of themselves and accepted that, and people avoid them because they're a bad person, obviously, but then they vent their heart out because they vent their heart out because they think they're the victim, even though they clearly did it to themselves.
That's a great question.
Yeah. Okay, you can.
Alifa, you have anything to say to that?
No, you go first.
Oh,
I'd like to know your perspective.
you can go then.
Which you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go.
Do you have to? That's the thing that really kind of annoys me the most. It's most about self-improving. That they basically, the person themselves, have to realize that they are bad and they have to self-improve. And if that doesn't really do it, well, they should seek help. But if people like avoid them, they should realize it by now. They should like, why are people avoiding me? Oh, maybe it's because I'm that. And it's kind of like, I'm not sure how it's not really obvious to them yet why they haven't realized it. But inshallah, inshallah, they will realize it soon. Hopefully, that's what I can probably hope for. Because, well, people can't really fix other people when it's them, you know, like it's their personality.
Yeah. Then what do you think, Alifa?
I think she might be think that their self is bad because maybe the lack of attention from their parents. Maybe their parents will want her story, and she might be open up to her parents, and maybe get a lot of solutions, so she can be open up and get socialized, of course.
I see. That's a good perspective from you. What about you, Kai?
I have that is a very interesting perspective actually. What if the bad person, the perpetrator, accept themselves and think of themselves as the victim instead? Even though they're the perpetrator, that's the question, right? I think it's all about self-awareness. I think it is all about how much are you aware of yourself when you are living in an environment with everybody else. So self-awareness is not only about yourself. It's not only about realizing what you do. It's not only about realizing what you're feeling, but it also about realizing what you do and how it can impact others. What did I do that I'm gonna get an example. It'll be easier this way. For example, maybe I feel as though I'm bad, you know, like I already accept that, oh, I'm a bad person, I'm this and that and this and that. But I also have to realize that if I keep being bad, other people are gonna suffer. And even though our mind would instinctively protect ourselves, our mind would instinctively try to find excuses. Oh, I'm not a bad person, I'm not a bad person, I'm the victim. At the end of the day, we should be aware of what our actions did to others. Maybe the solution is just to face your victim, to face what you did. Maybe if that victim is a classmate or something, you can come up to them. You can ask them, hey, what did I do that make you sad? Because I don't understand, please help me understand. I'm sure if the victim has any good in them, they would understand and they would tell you, they would communicate on what did you do that makes them sad, that makes them suffer, what did you do to hurt them. And from that, you're gonna realize, like we're gonna realize, oh, even though I'm a bad person, this person that I have hurt, my victim, the one that is suffering because of me, is still willing to communicate. So they still believe that I can do better. So why shouldn't you think that you could be better yourself? I think that's the main thing, no?
Yeah, I see. But you know what? I don't really agree about we discover ourselves that we are a bad person. Because in my opinion, there's no bad person. It's just a society where we grow up. Like basically a baby, they're born and they have no thought, they have no idea about how this world gonna works, and they grow up in the different society, different family, and they become that person. It could be a mean person, it could be a good person, it could be a good person, whoever. But I think people is people. Like I think there's no a bad person. There's no a bad person. It's just the society back again. Because I'm being friends with a lot of person that everybody says that, oh, don't be friend with them, they're a bad person, don't be friend with them, she's mean or whatever. But when I'm trying to talk to her, it's just how do we treat them, it's just how do we like respond to her, like how we interact with them. It shows.
Okay, I agree with that. My bad. It is my bad to say that.
Yeah,
when I say a bad person, I don't mean it in a black and white way. When I say a bad person, it is someone who who has hurt others. And I agree that we all born pure. We all born without thoughts, without principles.
Right.
And it is what are thought to us that could lead us to be a bad person. But the thing is, it's not about whether you are born pure or not. It is about how you become, who you become in the future. And so, how would I conclude this talk? I would conclude it as even if you are born in a bad environment that made you turn into a bad person, it is your responsibility to become better, to improve yourself. Thank you.
Wow, I really love this topic because we could be more open to ourselves. Even the participant, we could sharing our thoughts. Also, we could learn we literally could learn from anywhere, right? I really love this topic, literally. Even, especially the second topic, like we could interact with you guys. Like, thank you so much for being participant. Claps for us. Yeah, because of that, we have to be what? Like stand with them who got bullied. Also stand with us, love ourselves more. Also start to love yourself. Start to make yourself healthier. Start to make yourself better instead of make others down.
Yes.
Doesn't it?
Yes.
Alright, we all agree with that. That's why. Yeah, thank you so much, you guys, for participating in this podcast. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate your existence here.
And a good environment is start with yourself. So be a better person and inspire others.
Yes. And we would like to thank for the opportunity from RRE for giving us the chance to talk in front of the camera and in front of everyone. We thank you for that. And
we also thank you so much for Borches Asokal Hajar, who already invited us here and giving us the chance to talk with them, to meet you guys. I'm so grateful for today.
It is such an honor. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Alright, from all this topic here, we hope we could learn from this. We could learn from others experience. We could learn from others knowledge. So we educated well and we become a better person. Yeah, I love you guys so much, and I hope I'm gonna meet you guys
next time.
Yeah, next time. Thank you so much for your attention, and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.